Those were deals between American companies, leading American technology companies, and that Gulf nation of Saudi Arabia. As an investor, how did you react and respond to that news?
Well, thanks for having me, Ed. I mean, of course, it's optimistic rhetoric and potentially super beneficial to the ultimate earnings of the companies. We need to see when these investments come in, and the timing and the volume. But I think just on an overall basis, what it does is it replaces the lost revenue from China. And it may not dollar for dollar, but it does psychologically. And so we were in buying these names. I've been on with you many times. We were buying in January, February, and March, not just NVIDIA, but a number of the software-related companies around AI, and then, of course, Tesla. And I think that's a lesson to everyone that this trade is not over. Wall Street tends to be very short-term focused. Investors like me tend to be longer-term focused. And what we learned yesterday is confirmation that we're early innings in this AI build-out, and it is potentially the fourth industrial revolution.
Right.
And it is similar to what we saw in the 90s in terms of productivity enhancements.
Nancy, stay with us and bear with me. We have some news crossing the Bloomberg terminal. eToro Group's US shares are indicated to open at $63.50 each. This is pending trading on an IPO that priced at $52 a share. So priced at 52, but indicated to open at $63.50. The marketed range was 46 to 50. eToro, basically a rival to Robinhood, the trading and investment platform, Israel-based company. And this is a IPO that would give the company, at its $52 IPO price, a market cap of about $4.3 billion. Nancy Tengler, while you're with us, I see some green shoots. Is that one way to put it in this US IPO market?
Yeah, I do think you're right, Ed. I mean, this one makes me just a little bit nervous because it's piling on to day trading, I think, in many regards. However, I love seeing the retail investor engaged, in fact, much more so than the institutional investor. And I do think that we'll continue to see acquisitions, M&A in general. We just launched a mid-cap strategy for that very reason. So I do think this is bullish for the economy and the overall market. And, you know, I commend them on their day one of trading.
Let's get back to the big story, which I think is AI infrastructure and the relationship between the United States and the Gulf. What we're trying to understand is what happens next. Our colleagues at Bloomberg Intelligence did the analysis on how much revenue NVIDIA and AMD will derive from that Gulf region. So $10 to $15 billion in annual sales for NVIDIA through 2027, just $1 to $2 billion for AMD in the same region. But here's the key bit. Cushioning the blow from unchanged China export curbs. We opened this program saying that the diffusion rule has been rescinded, but a new specific Trump-era rule will come. How do you think they will approach China?
Yeah, I do think that is the good news in all of this. As I said earlier, the difficulty for investors in NVIDIA was what were they going to do if China was taken off the table as a potential customer. So I still think we'll see chips sold to China. The question is in what form, and then the question is how much does NVIDIA and AMD need that revenue if they're opening up, if they have opened up new markets for distribution. So I think what the Trump administration has done is isolate certain adversaries, so think Iran, Russia, China, by going on this goodwill trip to the Middle East.
Let me show you a chart. And this chart shows that as of today's market open, NVIDIA jumped above Apple as the world's second most valuable company. Microsoft remains in place as the world's most valuable company. Given everything that we've discussed and the events of the last 24 hours, where do you need to be right now, Nancy? In the infrastructure play or in the software hyperscaler play with Microsoft?
So I do think at the margin you want to be adding to the software play, which is, you know, we added to NVIDIA twice this year. But we also added to Microsoft and Palantir, and then some of the cyber names, Oracle as well on the software side. So I think that is going to be the next stage of build out. And we took the proceeds from names like Dell, that we felt like had a nice run, and on a valuation basis relative to growth and margins was probably mostly worked out. It's that's been a good call so far. But I think you want to, if you have to pick, I think you want to pick software over hardware.